we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any.
Hello. As you can tell, I accidentally pressed the wrong button, and that happens so often, so very often in this channel. Okay, but thank you for tolerating with me and putting up with me, and thank you all of you, especially for the pay YouTube member who has been here early every single Tuesday. But if you are tuning in for the very first time, like Joe here from Paris, Mohammed, Jaya from India, hello to you. What time is it in India? At India. I can't talk right now. Only one cup of coffee, but that is besides the story. How are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Holly Lee. I am a leadership coach. My job is to live stream twice a week, every single Tuesday, as well as Friday for the leadership tier where I review your branding. It's free, it's $3.99 to start as any of my tier for the Friday stream. This helps support my work and my channel as I am a full-time YouTuber, content creator, and leadership coach. Okay? With that in mind, if you have questions for me, please do put the giant Q in front of your question because that truly helped me go through the queue very, very quickly. Jamie, thank you so much for the super chat. Coffee, thank you. I love it. I love the super chat little coffee emoji. How creative of you. Hang on, I'm trying to move over here a little bit so I could view myself better. I really love this emoji. I'm going to go ahead and pin it, okay? Just because I love it so much. Okay. So today, something really interesting had happened to me. I made a post to remind my community about my Tuesday live stream. And I have one of my, I'm not sure if he was a YouTube subscriber or not. You really don't want to do that to say anything negative about anyone on LinkedIn where every single employers, recruiters, everyone and their mom can read and know who you are, therefore click on your profile. So he made a comment to me. He says, well, I really don't want to say this to you, Holly, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's been removed and blocked, by the way. I show up to your live stream. You didn't answer a single one of my question at all whatsoever. It was a waste of my time. If that is the case, my fabulous community, I need you to understand that my goal to live stream on YouTube is out of passion and interest. This, you guys see this right here, is an interest. I don't work for YouTube. I don't work for Google. In fact, I was doing it for fun 2 years ago. I did it more consistently when the pandemic hit, when I got flooded, overwhelming, true story. LinkedIn, I want to say, I can't remember how many thousand. It was literally every minute. People were just coming to me, even my recruiter friends that got laid off, right? That's why I start YouTubing, because I could not answer every single messages as they come in. You got to understand. And besides, no one does that because I too, let me remind you all, am human. I'm also a mom. I'm also a fairly new business owner. I'm also a YouTuber. I do everything that you see, all this setup here, everything is on my own. So when you make comments like that, be very, very careful, because you better bet that employers are also watching you. Other people are watching you, especially in the social space. That's why I'm very honest and authentic in my own way. Okay. And if you have questions for me, I encourage you to come early so I could, as you can see, it's a first come, first serve. Also, my paid community member, everybody with an emoji next to them, which is Eat, Sleep, Star, or any of my emoji, depending on how long they've been with me. Okay, you could simply just click join, no pressure if you want to, but please have patience and do not spam the community, because My goal, as mentioned, is to provide all my interview tips, strategies that I've worked for Amazon, I've worked for Google, I've worked for Facebook, I work for Nokia, I've also worked for Microsoft, right? I've been in this for over 2 decades and I'm here to help you get a job. That's simply it. And I want to ask you guys these questions because I noticed the pattern with me is that every single time that can be relevant to all of you who are either very anxious of going to your job interviewed or just getting the message from the recruiter, the initial state, or doesn't matter what stage you are in the interview process with Amazon or whatever employer you're interviewing with, you feel this really sickening feeling in your stomach that almost hurt. And you start getting anxiety. I feel the same way. In fact, I feel that way twice a week. I'm not kidding you. Every single week because I hate being in front of the camera. So what you all complaining about? I just told you my rawness. I am I'm kind of people shy, believe it or not. I hate being in front of the camera. Especially video is very hard to do. I'm staring at my lens right now. I'm not even looking at you guys or my comment because I can't. I'm looking at the lens. And I get so nervous because I care. I care that, am I going to be able to answer your questions the way that you would understand? Not that I don't have the content, but would you understand it? And my coaching to all of you guys individually is catered towards your background. So it's okay if you guys feel that sickening anxiety, nervousness in your stomach. I still feel that way. And I've been live streaming for over a year and a half now. Okay. I've been a content creator for about 2 years in total. And I'm still very nervous every single freaking week. I don't know why. I do the same thing every single week. I have new members, old members, but I guess I care a lot about keeping the community engaged as I'm streaming, encouraging you to ask questions because if you guys don't ask questions, I'm not going to have a whole lot of fun. Okay? The harder your question is for me, the better. Again, please do not spam or repeat your questions. When you do that, I'm just going to ignore you. Yeah, okay? Feel free to super chat. You don't have to, or become a member so I could see you coming in as you do. All right? So, with that said, how is everybody? Can you guys hear me okay? If you can, please say yes. We can hear you. I see Go Anna. I'm not sure why are we saying Go Anna, but I will get to that message in a second. Yay. Hi. Okay, it sounds like your focus and appreciation for us recognize and appreciate it. Well, thank you, Mr. London Leader. You're just being very, very nice. I'll buy you coffee, London. Okay, when I'm ever in London, I'll buy you coffee whenever that happens. Kevin, how are you? Good to see you here. John, you upgraded to the career tier. Yay! By the way, there's really no difference with $3.99 or $9.99. You're just really supporting my work. Okay. It is a monthly membership through YouTube, not through me, by the way. And I get a small percentage of that. That's really literally you're buying me coffee when you do that for $9.99. And I really appreciate it because I am a coffee holic. And you guys all know that. Delani, hey Delani, how are you? Joe, if you have any questions for me, welcome to the channel from Paris. I really, truly miss Europe and I wish I could be traveling again. I made a post on my personal Facebook. Don't connect with me on Facebook, by the way. My personal page is very non-business. I talked about how much I used to travel when I was not a mom yet. And I literally flew 7 to 8 times every single year all over Europe and South America and East Asia. I really miss that. So one day when he goes off to college or whenever I kicked him out, that could happen again. I'm just kidding. Jamie from Virginia Beach. Hey, Jamie from Virginia Beach. Right. Anna's interviewed is next week. I'm not going to say which FAANG company to protect your privacy a little bit here. London says, Jamie, are you transitioning from military to civilian life? I know I have a lot of friends from military to civilian, and I see some of the struggles that I had to come in and help them come back to reality as a coach. And these are personal friend of mine, but it takes them some time. They will come back to reality. If that is the case, I'm willing to answer all of your questions, Jamie. I know. London, Anna, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys in the community, when you've been with each other for a few months or so, a lot of you all are here for my VIP cohort. Thank you so much for being here. Sutter Space, I think I should call you June. I think you remind me to call you by June. Hello, how are you? Great music. When I'm feeling a little, I don't want to say when I'm feeling a little down, you guys can kind of see the beat of my music, right? I mean, it is really hard for me when I am losing sleep in what I want to talk about with you guys today. In fact, it takes me 2 hours, guys, every single time when I live stream to prep all of this that you're seeing here and also be mentally all in, like all in you. What am I saying? All be ready for you in answering your question. And anytime when I get feedback, I mean, the silliest feedback, it's not even about you not answering my questions, Holly. I'm on your live stream. It is one of those, Holly, I'm sorry, your VIP cohort is too expensive. One of the career coaches is charging $4.73 for interview tips. And I'm like, are you aware that I have the entire YouTube channel and it's also free? Are you also aware that 500,000 people were resulting in an Amazon job offer just by my content? Are you also aware that this that you're watching right now is free? So why are you even paying $4.73 for someone? And why are you comparing apples and oranges? If you don't know what that means, Google that, okay? Twana, hello Twana, how are you? I'm very excited to see more and more international folks from India, from Japan, and I see a lot of EMEA in here. That's amazing. I love it. See, you guys are all motivating me to be here on time sharp every day. Bupati, how are you? Mohammed, how are you? Katrina, Katrina, we can hear you. Excellent. Right, that is true. Bupati got a new job. I can't remember which offer you accept. I wanted to say Intel, but I could be wrong. Have you started your new job? And if you have, how are you liking it, my friend? Jaya says, you are superb and inspiring. Such a fan of yours. Thank you. That means a lot. Lynn says, I would like to know for the assessment screening, uh, where can I get more information about run your day? Any way I can apply for operation lead? I can't get this info actually. What do you mean by that? I'm trying to understand your question. It seems like you're asking me multiple questions here. The first question is you need to know the assessment screening. Can you be more specific for me? Remember, guys, if you have questions for me, please do tell me what position you're being considered for because it helps a lot. Okay. I'm not really sure what assessment we're referring to. Run your day. I'm not really sure what you mean by run your day. You mean if somebody asks you to describe your day or describe your role, then you simply describe to them what your roles and responsibility is. Remember, there's always some type of business impact when you are having conversation with the employer, okay? Even with the recruiter. Think of always talking about how you're able to tell, for example, if you were to ask me, Holly, how do you run your day? Even as a career coach, let's be more relevant. You know what? That's not relevant to you guys. Let's just say I am a recruiting. I'm a recruiter. That's a long time ago, but let's just use that as an example. If you ask me, Holly, how do you run your day as a recruiter or a recruiting leader? I would simply just say, well, first I wanted to prioritize and look at the gap I have to fill for my stakeholder, in this case, hiring leaders. I need to figure out what is priority for them and setting up my entire week every single Monday so that I could hold my team and the business leaders accountable in moving things forward, in return, building great candidate experience for them. That is my role and responsibility. I basically fill the gap and help my team achieve the goal. So, what is your responsibility, Jaya? Okay. I'm sorry, not Jaya, Lynn. And then your other question is you apply for operational lead. I don't really know what that means because I don't know your background. If you're interested, Lynn, and anyone else, to get your LinkedIn profile reviewed, all you have to do is join the Friday session. It's right here. It's every single Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's on my webpage. It's on the comment section. In fact, there's always going to be 2 links on my main YouTube page. You can't miss it. And the link is right there. And that is for pay YouTube member only, as mentioned. When you do that, it's helping me keep the spammer away, especially when I'm reviewing your stories. your LinkedIn profile and I'm merging into resume as well. I don't want people in my space if they're not job seeker who are genuinely needed my help to help you get a job at like an Amazon or whatever company of your choice. Ollie, hey Ollie. And Punit says, ignore haters, Holly. You're awesome. Those kind of comments will increase. I know. No kidding. It seems like every single week I'm getting a couple of those comments all over my social right now. I'm trying to come back down to earth. Thank you for saying that. That's very nice, Punit. I know. That's what I'm afraid. I feel like as my channel is growing, I'm going to get more and more of those. The funny thing is, guys, if you told me that I would be a YouTuber and all over social media, even 5 years ago, I would think you're out of your mind because at work, I am a true extrovert, meaning that I'm very obsessed with customers in delivering results and I do move very fast. I like to think on my feet. But outside of work, I prefer to not really hang out with anyone. I like to hike on my own. In fact, I want to sleep in the middle of the mountain with my sleeping bag, backpacking all by myself, and I'm cool with that. I like peace and quiet. Even right now when I'm live streaming for you guys, why I love it so much is I can't hear you complaining to me. You see that? I can read your I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Coaching, I really love because I feel like I'm adding value in being humane for people. Okay. That's why I love doing this. But if you were to tell me, for example, you will never, I probably should never use the word never because it usually happens when I use the word never. It will be shocking for you to find me doing like a tech talk or a TED, is that what they call TED talk somewhere, or doing it internationally, or even the last year when I did a talk for Microsoft in the corporate headquarters in Redmond, Washington. I really had to think about it. I was really doing my friend who was a senior leader in finance a favor in helping her entire org doing their career reimagined talk of defining their vision and how they can move from here to having the right career growth and having the right self-reflection. And I did a whole kabam PowerPoint presentation for Microsoft. It takes a lot for me to do that. I am a true introvert at heart. Shh, don't tell anyone, okay? I have an Instagram account that I do nothing on. Maybe I should start using it as a business website. And I just told you guys, don't connect with me on Facebook. I probably should opening up more Facebook. It's just that you have to understand, guys, I don't have the bandwidth to manage a lot. And I just wanted to make sure that when I form a community, there's going to be a community manager in every single one of those platforms so they can service you. I don't want something to just be there just for the heck of it. That's just not how I work. That's why I'm very hesitant when I do live streaming or committed to something. I'm committed. I will be here while on vacation. I'll be here at the airport. I will be here after a dental operation happens. I will be here even, I don't think I've shared any of this with anybody. When COVID-19 hit in end of February when it was announced, I think it was the first week. I want to say it was the first week of March. I was feeling really ill, like I couldn't breathe. I had every single symptom and I barely could move. No doctor would see me because that time Seattle was going through a lockdown. And guess what, guys? I was still live streaming. It was very embarrassing because for the first time in my life, practically, I put on makeup because I was looking so pale. That's what I mean by I truly love coaching. And if you have questions for this community, I want you to play nice with my community member because you can sense the vibe here. People truly do care for each other. And most of everybody came from my VIP cohort or my Start Interview Accelerator, right? I'm looking at you. Boo-boo, Boo-Pati. Immigration process is going on, expected to join in a couple of weeks. Good for you. Good for you, Boo-Pati. Ethel, by the way, thank you for the $50 super chat, MX. Let me know if you have any questions. Hang on, I want to make sure I don't miss your question. The thing is, I have to look at multiple screen because if I don't, I won't be able to see your question, okay? Let me know, Ethel697, what your questions are, and I'm happy to answer them. Ethel. Hello from Mexico. Hola, ¿cómo está? Thanks so much for your great advices. Already had my phone interview and online assessment. By the way, when you have your online assessment, can you share a little bit more with the community? What type of assessment is this and what role was this for? Because not all assessment is the same thing. The online assessment, guys, at Amazon, it's pretty new, which they did. That is the right directions to help Amazon scale. As you can imagine, they have millions and millions of applicants. I literally mentioned this in my coaching cohort yesterday on my Monday session, where a few weeks ago I was hanging out on Clubhouse with executive fire chat with like VP of Tesla, Google, Yahoo was there, eBay was there, basically a bunch of leaders, and I basically asked them. I said, "Hey, just curiosity, for each one of your open position, how many applicants are there?" And I'm sorry, not Google, the Tesla executive says, and also Google says, well, generally there's about close to a million or even 1.5 million applicants. This is why I do not recommend for you guys to apply to a job directly. If you need more guidance on interview prep or landing a job, I have the entire blog. By the way, it's right here. It's hollylee.co/blog and it's free. Did I mention that this is free? It is free, okay? It is free, guys. So please do check out the blog. There's different sections with Amazon Leadership Principle. And I preach a lot about the Amazon Leadership Principle, and let me explain why. I'm a fan of Amazon's just overall star methods and process and everything because of their bar. Their bar is very high. They are the one company who truly dive very deep in the weed of your background. So you better show up very sharp. That's why I'm such a big fan, okay? I know that if I were to teach you out of everything that I have personal experience at Amazon, and guys, I was a trainer. I was a Amazon engineering, TPM, PM, and non-tech interview trainer on top of my full-time role, because that's just how Amazon roll, as a recruiting leader there while I build a team and scale across the world, okay? That's why I'm sharing this with you. If you can follow every single step, I don't care if you're interviewing with Expedia or Starbucks or startup, if you follow every single thing, you are going to see the results, okay? Don't be upset with me if you message me on LinkedIn and say, Holly, I have an interview, give me a quick tip. You know I can't do that. If you missed that, scroll up for the first 15 minutes because literally hundreds and hundreds of people have reached out to me. I ask for you to seek to understand, do your research, do your homework because everything is laid out for you. In fact, every single one of my video, if you click on the description of the video section, all the resources are there for you. It's so pretty. It says step 1, step 2, step 3, top 5 recommendation. It's all there, okay? So do the best that you can because you can tell that if you have bias for action for yourself in working hard, you're going to see the result. And you know you're going to see the result, okay? And Ethel, when it doesn't matter if it's the phone screen or the on-site, you need your stories. Don't wait until the on-site or the final loop to create your stories. I highly recommend, if I recommend anything for you, that would be the Amazon Leadership Principle Questions and Answer playlist. If you go to my playlist, you can see it. I mean, you could go to my playlist, you'll see that playlist right there. I mentioned description. That is the first thing on the recommended list for my playlist, okay? Malaysia in the house. How are you, Miss Malaysia? 3:40 a.m. Oh my God, Lynn. You know what? If I have more of a bandwidth and I'm actually considering and thinking about hiring more, building a team for my business, and once I'm able to do that, I would love to have a third stream where I like to give you option. So don't be complaining to me that you need interview help and I'm not answering you, okay? I am considering a third stream thinking about everybody in Asia, which is probably going to be about 8 p.m. or so, which is afternoon your time. Okay, it is coming. I don't know when yet, but it is in the work. Wisdom Ben Amar. Wisdom, how are you? I'm going to have my 5 interviewed next week for a senior product manager in Toronto. Toronto. Did I mention that I built the Alexa team in Toronto from scratch? Yeah, they have like 0 hiring team at all for the Alexa. So when you hear Alexa of anything in Toronto, that was my baby in Alexa 2 years ago. I just can't wait I love Toronto. Oh my God, the food, the Chinatown. Wish me luck. I did very well in the interview with the hiring manager. What team are you interviewing for, Wissam? Jamie said, yes, I am 20 years. I am 20 years. It's funny. Wisdom says, I forgot to tell you that my interview is with Amazon. I'd be surprised if you guys are not interviewing at Amazon. I'm just saying. Neha, I recently got rejected at hiring manager round. Can I apply for similar role? Senior program manager immediately. I'm not aware of what went wrong early. I would not, Neha. When you have a fail interview at Amazon, first, I would recommend that you go check my fail interview playlist. I have a whole playlist. It's called Fail Interview. It's also in one of the recommended because it tells you exactly what to do, okay? When you reapply for the same position title, it doesn't matter what level, it doesn't matter what team, what part of the world, it's the same bar. When they saw that you recently have been rejected, no one's going to touch you because that is the rule of the game. They wouldn't even read the feedback. If the recruiter is most likely not going to give you the feedback, but read that playlist. The most important thing of that is I'm actually asking you how to dive deep into thinking back of your interview experiences and figure out where the gap is. A lot of the time, it's just your ability to articulate your story where you don't have to go and gain the experience somewhere else and reapply in a year or two. You may not have to because a lot of my customers failed their Amazon 6 times and they're now level 6 Amazonians, right? In fact, I mentioned this in every single one of my live stream, and those of you who are in my cohort, you know this because all of you guys have failed your Amazon interview. Okay, I would say 90% of them have failed anywhere between 1 to 6 times, and they still end up on Amazon. So whoever that tells you that once you fail an Amazon job interviewed, you can't get a job, that is not true. You can fail multiple times rather than going after that one position. Ask yourself, what else would you be a good fit for? Go check out the playlist. It's called Fail Amazon Job Interview. Okay. Woohoo. Woohoo says, first time I've been following in recent weeks. I have a virtual panel tomorrow and found on Glassdoor. Tell me a time when you were unsatisfied with the status quo. I don't know how. What do you mean by you don't know how? The question is, tell me a time that you were unsatisfied with the status quo. Just tell me about the time that it's also kind of similar to disagree and commit. Why don't you think about, don't dive too much into the weed, guys, if you don't understand the question, okay? And if you're really trying to figure out, go look at my Amazon Leadership Principle playlist because my top 17 questions are all on there, okay? Most interviewer is not going to ask you about status quo question unless you're in sales, account management, or business development, right? And if you're not satisfied with the status quo, it could be in management position as well, where you have to give an example of where you did not meet the number and what was the gap. But more importantly, how did you bridge the gap? If you're not satisfied with something, what are you going to do to look at the big picture so that you will be satisfied with the quote? Do you understand? Does that make sense to you guys? So don't look at a question so black and white. Just think bigger. Think bigger, go deeper and deeper and deeper. How you're supposed to turn it around. You know, the funny thing is, woohoo, every single person have told me that they don't know if they're relevant stories and they all fail their interview, so on and so forth. They actually do. You just need to take a moment to think back of everything that you have done. And that also tells me about branding, okay? If you have a virtual panel interview, that means they have already seen something that they like from your resume. If you look at your credential, you have to ask yourself, looking at your achievement, just think of a time where you could have done better and you're unsatisfied. That's the best advice I can give you. Ollie, hello, Ollie. Loving your Star Accelerator program. Aw, thank you. Thank you. You've done very, very well. Looking forward to be more in supporting your career journey. Punit says, with some hope to see you, meet you in Toronto office. All righty. All the best. I love community member who have landed job offer and continue coming in here every single week. You guys mean more than the world to me. You have no idea. Just like Anlu. Anlu is amazing. She is my moderator on YouTube and she takes care of the community and she does the best that she can to come in here and make sure that we are both adding value to you guys, even inside and out of the live chat. You see that, guys? That is called customer obsession. Mohammed says, doing good. Tarasa, yes. And also when you guys have questions, please do not repeat your questions because when you do that, I get confused and it's taking me time away to redo it, okay? Umaj says, hello, Holly. Just wanted to give an update. I had a full virtual on-site for an L6 mechanical engineering position. The recruiter conveyed the decision that will not be offered the job. So you had a virtual on-site for mechanical engineer, and the recruiter mentioned that they will not offer you the job. Okay, that's okay. You have to move on. Okay, you have to move on. I can tell you guys, and I say this in all of my part 1, 2, 3, and 4 fail Amazon playlists. It's your storytelling. It's your ability to dive deep and talk about relevancy with the right scale. That's why. That is why. That is the main reason. Okay. Um, Ali just mentioned about enjoying being in my Star Interview Accelerator program. It is a program. It is right here. It'd be great if I put it out for you guys. It is an 8 weeks coaching program in my cohort and it also comes with a free online course to help you as well. A bonus notch where I'm giving you example. I'm teaching you how to brand yourself, your LinkedIn profile, all the way from A to B, and writing storytelling. Storytelling is one of the most important pieces because if you don't have the content, you will not be able to present them. And then showing up to my live mock interview office hour every single Monday. So that's a Star Accelerator, should you be interested. Okay, I'm telling you guys right now, please, please, please do not apply for the same job, same company, or any company when you have had failed interviews, more than one interview, okay? After you've had your first interview, you need to fix what that is. And if you don't know that, maybe it's time for you to work with a coach. If you've done every single thing you can, I can't answer that for you. Only you can answer that for you, Umaj. You got to see, for example, how many stories do you have? Did you practice? Were you comfortable? Were you able to answer all of those top behavioral questions? Do you even know what they are? Okay, you have to do your due diligence. Rakul says, I'm incoming MIS candidate. I was MIS at one point in my life a long time ago. College, please advise on how my research summer internship for top companies. I have no experience hiring for intern or college. I can tell that you have to apply directly or go to the job fair. All the major companies or any companies, they will run internship programs around the clock. Usually is before they have a schedule to go to. So one, I would leverage your career advisor and see what are the upcoming career fair and whatnot. Two, if you're following a company of your choice, like Netflix, for example, right? They will have posts all over. Okay. LinkedIn is a go-to platform because everyone posts a job opening, career fairs, and because LinkedIn is the biggest portal of all. Let's be honest here. There's over 700 million active user on LinkedIn. Okay. Out of those number, at least 330 millions are decision maker, meaning hiring managers, everybody with the people manager title. Okay. So there's a lot of influencer of hiring decisions on LinkedIn. I would follow the companies you wanted to work for and pay attention to your newsfeed and see who has upcoming events, and all the university, the campus around you have a lot of career fair and they're coming because I don't know if you guys have heard now that there's vaccines coming in and all that, a lot of places are mask free. I, however, would still encourage you to put on a mask. That's just me. Okay. So you have to do your research and see where those companies are hanging out as they are putting out career events, and just keep your eyes and ears open at all times. That's the best advice I can give you because I know where they hang out, the university recruiting. Anne says, hi, Holly, I'm trying for Google contract jobs. What are the possibility of conversion FTE after certain period? It really depends. I have a couple people at Google as a technical program manager. Technical project manager. That's a title. And also project managers. One of them were there for 6 months, and it's actually in conversation of conversion right now, waiting for a rec to open. Google is very cautious when they hire FTE. Why that is, I have no clue. I haven't worked for Google for over 10 years. I want to say that was like 12 years ago or so. I don't know if things have changed. I highly doubt it, but it is a company that likes to try it before they buy it, and sometimes try it for the entire year, a very long time. Okay. So if I were you, if you or your intent is to work for Google, I would get in however I can. Contract, FTE, it does not matter. It's all about performance and relationship with all of these companies, right? Obviously, when you are excelling in your scope, your work, and you're leveraging your counter peers and multifunctional team, right? When you're doing that, you are also building relationship, because when it comes time to conversion, you want to get positive feedback from the people that is actually on the same project. You hear where I'm going? And you want your manager to love the work that you do, and they will love you because you're saving them time by doing your work really well. Okay? Min. Where are you? It's just my chat just kind of jumped by itself. Min says, how do you scale training? Can you be specific? What kind of training are we talking about, Min? Can you please verify for me, Min? What do you mean by how do you scale training? Be more specific. Is it a role? What role are you interviewing for? And what type of, just what role you're interviewing for, so I can have more meat. Violetta, I was applying for operation manager and the assessment was numerical reasoning season. What am I saying? I'm hungry. By SHL. Check the SHL website. They're the same questions. For operation, area manager, anything in operation, supply chain fulfillment, I have heard that the assessment is numerical because you have to be very good with numbers and math, which makes a lot of sense because you're not technically doing addition, subtraction, or anything in that nature, right? You're doing a lot of calculation, a lot of number spreadsheet. The program manager, operation program manager, all those basically in the ops, PM, ops manager organization, they do a lot of, for instance, QA testing where you have to scan barcode into the Excel spreadsheets, or they have to make sure everything is scanned. We're talking about fulfillment here, okay? If you think about it, the number has to match. The products and services have to match. So there's a lot of numbers in place. My guess is that they're trying to test and see your due diligence and your accuracy as well. Okay, but you have to have an eye for number. I don't think you have to be good with number because let's be honest here, you can manipulate like spreadsheet, Excel, and have Excel do all the additions, whatever number for you, right? That's why I think you just have to know how to move around when it comes to numbers and spreadsheets and so on. I haven't met anyone in operation as a program manager that doesn't deal with numbers and spreadsheet. That's why I made the comment that I did. Have Chinatown in London. Actually, I have never been to a Chinatown in London. I have been in London before and I did not want to leave. Lynn says, I'm jumped to the pinpoint on the second slot, Amazon work style assessment. I didn't even know Amazon has a work style assessment. Man, they're doing a lot of new assessment here. There is a 3-section, 1 lead your team. Okay. How do you lead your team? Okay, smart. How do you manage your day? How do you run your area? Tell us your story. That's actually very, very smart. That's awesome, Amazon. That you have to, the reason why Amazon is asking you a lot of that assessment is, are you guys ready? They're trying to see if you are a culture fit. In fact, I love your question so much. Let me see if I could, Lynn, let me see if I can put it on here. I'm going to remake this video and do a little bit more research on this, Lynn. I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me for one moment, okay? I want to make sure I put this on here so I don't forget. Right here. Okay, Lynn, I'm going to put you up there for one quick second. I'm going to remake this video, cut out the important content, and I'll see what other information I can find of the Amazon work style assessment. Basically, are you a culture fit at Amazon? Let me translate this for you, okay? The one thing is, lead your team. How do you lead your team is very, very important because Amazon is a highly productive environment. Okay, highly productive. Amazon is also a very concise written and verbal communication environment, and things have to move very quickly, which means your communication skill and the way you manage your team have to be on par, on the same page. If one person underperform on your team, it's also on you if you are a people manager. Okay, how do you manage your day is how do you prioritize, because at Amazon, I mentioned this in my Amazon culture. If you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to rewatch. One, my Why Amazon video. Two, when you're done with that, the culture video. I talk a little bit deeper into the type of culture, the type of people that Amazon wants to hire. And that's really relevant to your questions here, Lynn. Okay. And that is, how do you prioritize when everything fall apart? When there's a fire, you need to put out the fire in every single day you come into work. And sometimes you're still sleeping and there's a fire in Toronto. That's true story, by the way, because I used to do a lot of recruiting event for Toronto. And it's, I feel like I have to juggle from between Toronto and Seattle and different part of the city or different part of the world. How do you juggle everything? How do you manage your day? And how do you make sure that you're staying on top of everything? Okay. The third thing is running your area. This sounds like an operational thing. How do you run your area? I mean, that's really, it's a questions. How do you make sure that you are performing? To rephrase that questions, how are you performing successfully in the area or the task that you are responsible for? Don't be so deep into that. Just think broader. Okay. And tell us your story, because they do want to hear. And these are really good questions, Amazon. And I'm going to go ahead and take this off now because I've answered your question. Let me know if that helps, Lynn. It's a culture fit thing. So when you're answering the questions, I can't teach you how to lie. I can't do it for you. But if you guys are really struggling in your Amazon interview, if you're already in the interview process, okay, let me repeat. If you are already in the interview process, and the VIP cohort is more for you, because in the VIP, within 1 month, I can transform you to be interview ready. If you have already failed your interview and whatnot, I would not recommend for you to re-interview. I would recommend my Star Interview Accelerator for you. You need to slow down, because there are so many people that panic and they don't know what to do and they're frustrated. Even when they come into my cohort, they just bombarded me with pings and messages like every hour. That is not going to be, that's, first of all, that's not very Amazonian, because they never overreact. Let me repeat. At Amazon, you don't react when there's a fire. Rather than reacting, you put actions in place and plan out how to solve the problem immediately, not reacting to it. Because when you react, what do we do, people? You make poor decisions. Do you see where I'm going? So I almost wanted to say that unless you are ready to really be serious and committed, because I hear it all. I found my interview 2 times, 3 times, 5 and 6 times. Then why do you still repeat the same pattern? Why? Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. June says, I have a loop interviewed for HR Services Administrator on Thursday. Wish me luck. Well, best of luck to you. I'm being a little bit biased, but I'm all for HR. Twana says, tell me about time where you have a customer or a peer that you didn't see eye to eye with. The situation. Twana, reviewing your story is on Friday, not today, okay, my friend? Because in this section, I don't, even though I stream for 2 full hours twice a week, every single week, I still couldn't get to everybody. So on the Friday section, I'm purely dedicating to all the paid YouTube member like yourself, Twana, in reviewing your story or your resume or your LinkedIn profile. Okay, I will do this for you right now because you already have inputting your star here, and I don't want to waste your time. But please remember, if you want me to review your story, that is Friday. Repeat after me, guys. Friday, okay? And I encourage you to check out my business page, which is holiday.co. If you look at my business page, there's a whole schedule of every Tuesdays and Friday. It's very transparent. It says Friday reviewing your story and profile as well, okay? I wanted to do that because I am a very data-oriented person. I want to keep the channel as clean as possible. Let's just say that you're interviewing, which all of you guys are, of course, and you want to find my playlist. I don't want you to come into my interview prep when there's all kinds of generalist stuff in here. I want it to be just that for you. You see that? Why I'm doing all of this is to cater to you guys so you can find my material a lot quicker. Okay? So it's helping me out and helping the community out. Alrighty, tell me about a time that you don't see eye to eye with a customer. I led a new agile and another reason why I don't like this, I guarantee you, Twana, someone is copying your story on here that I don't like. They might as well just use my feedback to you and create their own course and selling to you and charging people money. That's why it is pay member only on Friday, okay? Be very careful of that, my friend. I led a new agile cross-functional team, T-shaped team. What does T-shaped team means? Following agile principle, each member started to share his expertise, knowledge between the team. I had one of the team member did some talk which wasn't his main expertise and missed the deadline for delivery. So we went through a stormy time. I'm trying to find the rest of your story. This is what I mean by story only. So there's nothing cutting in between us. Well, are you guys feeling my pain here? You feeling it? Don't do that anymore. Listen, okay? Friday, story reviewed. Agile procedure and principle, understanding about the T-shape. First of all, it's very hard for me to follow. The people who are going to interview you guys are not going to be product manager who understand the agile product or procedure. You're definitely going to get someone like me interviewing you. In fact, you're going to get a bar racer from a recruiting leadership background like me. I could be the bar racer interviewing you, and I need to understand. So here's how, let's redo this a little bit, okay? So I would simply just say, I'd like to walk you through an example of a time where I led a agile cross-functional team, which is T-shape. Let me explain what T-shape is. What is T-shape? Explain that to me, okay? There was a time where I disagree with one of my peer because I find that his contribution to the agile. You see why I'm struggling right now, because I can't figure out what this team does. I would like to I like to walk you through a time where I don't see eye to eye with one of my team member because we disagree on the scope of the project, therefore didn't meet deadline for delivery. I set aside with this team member and explain a little bit about, it sounds a little bit vague. Who does this person do? What do you do? And what does this person do? I was able to educate my peer on the entire agile procedure and principle so that he would understand about T-shaped people is not correct. But why? Why is it not correct? And what would be correct? So there's just so many different questions I have right now of understanding what that is. Remember, Twana, when we storytell, we have to storytell in a way that high school kid is going to understand you. So what are we trying to convey? Okay. I explained to him the T-shaped people spend most of their time deep in the role, his expertise, but can often spend time on activity that come before and after work. Are there more? Are there more? Are there more, Twana? Okay, girl. You need to redo your whole story and be more specific. Please come back on Friday. When you come back on Friday with the same story, I need to know your situation. Get to the point. As an agile lead, I was responsible for a project, taking ownership of the entire agile cross-functional team by what? What problem were you trying to solve? In this project, I did not see eye to eye with one of my peers because of why? Why did you not see eye to eye with this person? Because my areas of expertise in the agile procedure and principle as an SME, I was able to shed some light and educate my peer on. What did you educate your peer on? And together I was able to influence him in meeting our deadline by doing ABC. You see where I'm going? There's got to be a flow when don't spend so much time talking about the T people. I bet you anything, the audience who's looking right now are scratching their head asking me what on earth is T people. Okay? So explain it in a way that your bar racer, it's not going to be on the team. It's very unbiased. In fact, they may not have any experiences at all, and they need to understand what you're referring to. Even if they don't, the A through Z of storytelling have to make sense. I put an image out before, and I'll do it again when I do the recap of this video, okay? Which is normally how we tell a story, it's like this. Um, we tell a story like this, okay? Which is, once upon a time I was from Asia and I came to the USA, and oops, right here go to college and I've decided to study in medicine, and I changed my mind to be you see where I'm going? It bounced up and down, up and down, up and down. So the perfect formality, and that's why I admire the STAR method, or I don't know, maybe it's a Holly process. It's just, I like to be short, straight to the point. I just need to teach you guys what problem you're trying to solve and get there quickly, and what did you do to contribute. That's it. I don't know what you want to call it, but I call it the STAR method, like this. Okay. I want to walk you through an experience where I took on the ownership of an agile methodologies, where our goal was to solve a problem by what. In return, a customer can benefit from our agile procedure and principle by doing what, right? During that time, I had a disagreement with one of my peer where we don't see eye to eye. Because why? Right? Because your expertise is in this, and the individual that is does not have the unique skill set. What I've done here is I've set him down to educate him or her by doing what, right? In return, we were able to meet our ultimate team goal, executing this project, or have the right alignment to help our customer with XYZ. Execution is it a launch? So there's so many gray areas there. All right. Okay. I will stop right there. I haven't forgotten about you, community members. See, this is why some people are upset with me and they blow up my LinkedIn for this. Alrighty. Not Napase. Napase said, I had a technical interview yesterday for an IT support engineer. Today, I received an update that I'm recommended for an engineer one position. Good for you. By the way, Napasi, support engineer salary is here. STE is here. Congratulations to you for being considered for a higher position. Okay? Let me know how that goes. Even if you're interviewing for an engineer, you still need the STAR method. Alrighty. Red Riding Hood, talking about Google. I will be starting to train new joiners, nuclear training at Google. My next milestone. I'm looking in my contract job. Also, my manager working to give me an hourly rate hike. Woohoo! Congratulations. Let me tell you guys a little story about Red Riding Hood. I love, love, love this girl. This girls have been around since I think you were one of my original. It's so embarrassing for me to admit this. When I start streaming a year and a half ago or so, and I was really talking to myself for the first 6 months or so, no one shows up, right? I remember Red Riding Hood showing up, and it's hard to not remember that name. You can see the image. It's Red Riding Hood. And then it was just literally between me and her having a conversation by herself. And a couple of months passed where she was really struggling to land a job, to landing a consultant position. By the way, don't ever use the word temp. You guys are not temp, you're a consultant, okay? Even the word contract could be misleading. Just say consultant is more professional. For crying out loud, you guys are working at Google, and there's quite a few of you guys in here watching right now. I know who you are. No name, no name. At Google, you're consulting. So I want you to mentally shift your mind that you are indeed important. That's why Google is interested in you. And to get a consulting contract at Google is really hard. They only hire the best of the best. Even if they're hiring for junior people, it has to be the best. Okay. I know that because in Recruiter 101 training, when I was a senior recruiter at Google, the first thing they taught us is Holly, preferably we want to see people from elite or top tier school. I'm like, what? But what about their experiences? We need to know if they're super smart, and then we can train them in other things. Okay, makes sense. You see where I'm going? Alrighty. Abby, I know you're Abby. You have so many names for me, Ollie. I'm just going to call you Abby. Going back to that. Bear in the wow. How are you, Bear? Mask up. Yes, mask up. Did you all not hear that I fall so sick in the beginning of March, and having felt that where I couldn't see the doctors, of course, because we were like locked down. If you guys remember when coronavirus hit, Seattle got hit the worst. And we had the most sick rate and death rate where everyone is like this. We're not even allowed to step foot out of their house for, I think, 3 weeks straight. And then it got extended. That was why it was really, really ugly. And I know what that felt like. And being a single mom, I cannot ever imagine myself having to go through that again. And you better bet I have my 2 vaccine shots already. And yeah, I still wear a mask. I wear a mask. Even grocery store like Walmart and Fred Meyer in Pacific Northwest are masked down. I'm still putting a mask on. Yeah. Until this whole virus thing is at zero, no one is sick anymore, then yes. Like months and months pass, then I'll take it down. Okay? Alrighty then. I'm glad we're on the same page. Bear, I may need your help. Bear, don't say that. There's no such thing as hopeless. When one door closes, there's other opportunities. I actually spoke with my business coach this morning, and I love her. I basically wanted to talk to her about my vision. Where do I want to take my business, my community, you guys, in the next phase? And I said something similar to you, Bear. Believe it or not, I said, you know what? I feel like I'm going through a plateau right now because my audience only cares about Amazon. I feel like if I continue that path, I'm I'm enabling them to just focus on one thing, and the world is so big out there. I see so much more potential. And then I've created amazing products that have great one of the highest coaching results. And I don't know, I'm not going to run YouTube ad and Facebook ad. I don't want you guys, all of you guys right here, to open YouTube or eating dinner with your family. Oh, that's Holly Lee. Oh yeah, I know her. I don't know. That's not my style, and I'm so stubborn. I'm still trying to create better things to talk more FAANG. I'm thinking more FAANG because when I say FAANG is even if you choose to be with startups, and some of my customers do, or land a job at startup, great. You know what? It puts food on your table. You're going to gain the skill necessary for the top player, top tech companies. In the meantime, you're going to enjoy the work that you do, and it's going to boost up your confidence. Okay. So don't ever repeat after me, everybody. Don't ever mention the word hopeless. Ever. Ever. Okay. And you're talking about someone who has a really good paying job and left because I need to do a self check and define what I really want to do. And that's exactly what I did. So take this time, be patient, my friend. Okay. You have to be very patient. As mentioned, I have not often, but I get like people coming to my cohort and bombard me, like, calm down. The way how you carry yourself mentally and who you are has so much to do with how you plan out your life. It's not even a job, it's your life. Okay. Do you, and I also have people who try so hard, have been with me for a few months, land a job at Amazon, and in return, they're like, Holly, now that I have a job at Amazon and having meet the whole team and all that, I don't know if I want to leave my startup. I'm having a lot of fun here. They're treating me so nice. Can you tell me why I should accept this job at Amazon? And I looked at this person, right? His name is Mark. I look at Mark and I said, that's a very good self-awareness and assessment. If I were you, I would just stay where I am because there's no reason for you to leave. I mean, you wanted to work for Amazon for so many years. Now that you have it, also our skills and where we are in our career has changed, right? So don't look at things so black and white. And that's why I'm sharing this story with you. I know I'm getting a little bit long winded, but I feel like you need to hear that. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Satosh says, I have an interview for a senior cloud solution application architect. From email from the recruiter, it says live coding exercise. Please advise what kind of questions will it be? Well, if your solution for application architecture, then it's going to be application type of coding, okay? By the way, it's a solution architect. It's all over Glassdoor. I know that because I've done a couple private coaching in the past. By the way, I have helped a level 7 principal solution architect landed a job at Amazon before. Okay. And talking about that, please, I'm begging you guys, do not reach out to any of the people who's written endorsement for me on LinkedIn because I do hear about it and it really bombards them. They go through the same program as you guys do, should you be interested, or showing up like these live stream. So don't do that. It's all good intention, but when you work for a company like Amazon, you really don't have time for anything. You better have time for your family. So what made you think they would have time for you? Okay? I'm not being rude here. I'm being very authentic, okay? Okay. Satosh, make sure you check out Glassdoor first and see what you find because there's a lot of different things. Solution right off the bat, you need to know AWS infrastructure very, very well. I'm going to assume that you need to know some level of networking or networking architecture. If it's application, what are all the different application layers and components? All of that is definitely going to be on Amazon. On Amazon, on Glassdoor, because the SA position is really a year over year round recruitment at Amazon. Okay. Is it good or bad if hiring? Oh, June says the position I applied for got filled. Another Amazon recruiter told me she will get me an offer in a different location. How does that work? First of all, June, congratulations. You make it through the process, man. Or is it a she? I can't tell if you're a he or she, but congratulations. Are you guys listening to this? Is a good problem to have. Once you get an offer from Amazon, even if the position end up to be filled, by the way, it shouldn't be filled. If it's filled, you will always remain in the system for offer completion and all thumbs up, all inclined loop. Okay. So moving forward, let's just hypothetically saying that this recruiter couldn't find your home. Sit back, my friend, put on your seatbelt because now you're going to get attention from all the other recruiter because you made it through the entire loop with thumbs up. Okay? You better bet everyone's reading that feedback. It's not a bad thing. You just have to all of this that I'm hearing right now has never happened before when I was at Amazon. I think it has a lot to do with the pandemic that they're trying to juggle with so many different headcount and what to do with them. Because Amazon is not a company who make massive hire just to hire. They're very cautious in hire. I remember having to break an arm just to get an open rec to hire an extra recruiter for my team. Okay. And they're overloaded, bombarded, overworked, and overwhelmed. I remember those days. So it seems like now they're just trying to tread water to survive because there's so many expansion right now and they need to hire quickly. So don't worry about it. Make sure you keep tab on that recruiter. Make sure, June, you are in touch and connected with the hiring managers and every single person who have interviewed you, okay? Stay in touch with those people because if things were to change, they will re-engage you, especially the hiring managers. And the recruiter, make sure you follow up with the recruiter every 2 business days. You spend your time, you got the position. Now it is their job to find you a freaking role because you have wasted, I shouldn't say wasted. Forgive me, Amazon. You have spent the time on there and they need to be able to do you a favor and find your home, especially when they've given you that feedback, okay? They need to honor that and move quickly. I hope I was able to answer your question. Delani and everyone else, please, 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 guys, do not drop your star question. Here is for the Friday session, okay? Your star reviewing your stories is on Friday. Okay, that is for member only, and a lot of you guys are. Please don't do it here. This is for everything else that I need. You guys can see there's a lot of questions coming in, and I'm very obsessed. I want to answer them all. Okay, you guys saw how much time it took for me to answer a Lynn's star earlier. It took a whole 5 minutes. Okay, I promise you all, if you drop me your questions one at a time, don't drop me 50 questions. On Friday, I will get to every single one of them. But if you guys have an upcoming interview, dropping a questions here and there is not going to help. Then you may want to consider one of my coaching cohort, and you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, which is Holly Lee, if we're not connected already. Sounds good? All right. I'm glad we're on the same page. All righty. Let's go back to the community, shall we? Okay. And I wanted to make sure cautiously that everyone has turned, so I'm going to give other people love as well, okay? Bear Noel, I adore you. Bear says, I can't wait for the day I can change my screen name to Bear in the Office. Oh my God, you have so much personality. Bear, I'm going to reach out to you via LinkedIn, okay? I'm just going to reach out via LinkedIn. Oh my God, you cracked me up. Okay, I know it's not funny, but it's really funny at the same time. Mohammed. Okay, you're next, Mohammed. Thank you for your patience. So, Holly, I have to prepare for an upcoming virtual interview with Amazon for an operation manager role. Any tip and advice I will prepare based on the STAR method. You just have to know your story very, 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 very well. Okay. And every single one of your example has to be as close to operational experiences as possible. You do not have to have experience in warehouse or fulfillment, but it's operation. The definition of fulfillment on an operation is really how do you deliver goods or services to the end user? Basically, how do you help the organization to make money? Okay. Don't think about it as just a fulfillment center, like a physical fulfillment center. Okay. Rajiv, can you please tell me what is the level for senior supply chain procurement manager at Amazon? That's a 6 with the senior title. That's okay, Twana. I got you. I got your back. I just want to make sure that I'm giving love to everybody in here. Leo. Leo says, I will have a loop for cloud infrastructure architect for a public sector in Amazon. Really? There's a public sector in Amazon? There's so many changes. Hang on, guys. Oh, this is so weird. I'm not seeing. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this live stream, can a girl get a thumbs up? Give me some thumbs up or give me some star in the live chat. Let me know that you are still here with me. Solution Cloud Infrastructure Architect is also on Glassdoor. I'm not sure if it's specifically for public sector, but Cloud Infrastructure Architect is the same thing across all of Amazon. Okay. You need to know the infrastructure really well, inside and out. I'm also going to assume that you're on the tech side, it's about 30% tech, 70% behavioral question. You still need to answer all of my question in the recommended playlist I just talked about. Scroll up the top hour. Okay. On the tech side, it's on your resume and your LinkedIn profile. That's why they are interested in you. And that's another reason why you've made it to the final loop. Okay. It's going to be harder. They're going to be dive deeper on the onsite. And yes, there's going to be at least, I wanted to say 2 interviewers that will be asking you tech questions, 1 or 2, and the other 2 or 3 will be behavioral question. Okay, take a look at my recommended playlist as well as Glassdoor for the technical portion. Sharidi says, I got an offer from Amazon. Yes. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate members who have landed offer and take the time to be here. Ethel says, thank you so much for your great tips. What should I expect for an executive account manager 60-minute interview? Well, you better have results and lots of them, right? For example, what was the largest account that you were able to close? Think about that, okay? You're an account executive. I hate to use that word, but it's sales. So it's a lot of your background and what is your ROI. Think about your impact. Dun, dun, dun. Deolani, I promise you, if you show up on Friday, you will be the first person I will be reviewing your story. I promise you that, okay? Right now, my friend, your story is a little bit too long. I can see it, but let's dive deeper on Friday, 9:30 a.m. Hello, Valentina. Long time. Abby says, if an interviewer asks you a probing question such as, how did you calculate your ROI, such as reduce capital expenses by 30% or 40%? Abby, I know where this is coming from. Well, if an interviewer is asking you that, then let me ask you that, how do you calculate? I'm asking you, how do you or how would you calculate your expenses, right? To reduce capital. So I would do the comparison before you give them a number. Remember, when you're giving them a number, you're setting them up to ask you probing question. Yeah, are you all with me? So if I'm going to say that in return, I'm helping my company reduce capital expenses by 30%, from what to 30%? From what to what is equals to 30%? And that's how you do the math. Okay, let me know if that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, Abby, all you have to do is put it in the Star Interview Accelerator, and I will get back to you later on today. How to respond, because sometimes you get the ROI number from the management team. Well, when you get the number from the management team, you have to look at the whole picture, right? It is from the whole management team, but aside from that, reducing that number, how else did it benefit? because of your effort as the role that you were in and you were adding value, your customer is happy. Doesn't that also help the end user or your customer generate revenue as well? You don't have to know how much, right? You can simply just say, because of my effort, I was able to reduce 30% for my sales team. I'm totally making this up, and helping my customer build a system infrastructure. I'm making this up, by the way. Able to complete a system migration or implementation for my customer, in helping them generate a $2 billion company, because the company of your customer is worth that much. You see where I'm going? So you have to look at the whole picture and fit it in. Don't just throw number to throw number, but your number needs to make sense. Okay? CK said, which CK is this? Oh, that CK. Yes, you are truly my original number one CK. I care about Tesla too. I care so much about Tesla that I cheated on Amazon. After being with Amazon for 5 years, I started the interview process with Tesla, and I decided that I want to take a break and I probably don't want to work for anyone anymore. That's why I stopped. Tesla is a phenomenal company. I'm thinking about the car, of course, right? I don't know the culture very well, but I literally just told you this in my VIP cohort, by the ways, guys, that if I look at innovation and FAANG company, I don't know why Tesla is not a FAANG company. It should be. It's all about Tesla. I mean, the economic car is so big that now a lot of the companies are start building vehicles similar to Tesla, right? So if I have to compare Amazon, I would say the second tier of moving fast would be Tesla. I mean, look at the productions. Yet when you interview with a company, you have to look at the products and services and how they scale. What part of the world are they in? And also, as a company, what are they generating? And that's how you know what you're getting yourself into. Crossing my finger for you, CK. Woohoo says, how to answer without matrix turnover, saving HRBP interview experience with companies that did not require use matrix. Really? You work for a company that doesn't require use matrix? Have successful experiences but lack support contribution made. Let me pause for a second and try to understand your question, okay? So, first of all, what position are you interviewing for? Because so it makes more sense for me. How to answer without matrix. When you have any questions without data, basically the question is, how do you solve a problem without data and without support? Because that's Amazon. And Amazon is a self-service. When I think about Amazon, one word, self-service in hyphen, okay? It's a self-service place. I encourage you all to also watch my Amazon onboarding video, part 1, which is my first week, my first 30 days and 90 days. I walk you through every single thing specifically of my personal experience, okay? There's no matrix, there's no support, there's nobody, there's no mentor. You basically do everything on your own, and how are you supposed to do that? By 1, trying to figure out what problem you're trying to solve, yeah? When you figure out what problem you're trying to solve, now work backward. Look at the historical data. What didn't work out with the data that you're looking at? How are you supposed to dive deep and tear it apart? Now that you know what doesn't work, how are you supposed to fix that to bridge the gap? Okay, let me know if that makes sense. Jamie, I have a virtual interview HR business partner. There's quite a few business partner. What is the likelihood that the interviewer will use the same LP for my story? That's a really good question, Jamie. Here's the thing, guys. When you are interviewing at Amazon or with anyone, a lot of the questions, there's about 20 different ways to answer one question. So there will come a time you're going to hear my voice when I tell you this. It sounded almost the same, like 3 questions, very, very similar. That's why I'm asking you to create 2 different examples in every single one of my top pick behavioral questions in my Amazon leadership principle playlist. Okay? Do that. It's very, very common. Even though they're not asking the same thing, but it sure does sound like it's the same thing. Shrikan says, if I work for Infosys, can I work for Amazon? If yes, what should I learn? Well, you should know that 70% of the people I've helped at Amazon come from some type of consultancy background. Infosys, Deloitte, IBM. Um, I can name more and more and more. God, what was it? Tata Consulting? You name it, all of it, right? It really doesn't matter. The end result is what have you done during your time consulting for Infosys, right? What have you done? What is your high level achievement? It's all about in your storytelling, my friend. Just listen to the word that I'm saying. Do the work. You have to do your homework. It is a struggle, I find, from consultancy, a pure consultancy or non truly tech company into like an Amazon, because you're going from 0 to 100 degree. Okay. Before I worked for Amazon, I worked for a bunch of startup in my younger days. Okay. I went from knocking on wood recruiting like white pages to know what your phone number is. This is way before LinkedIn was ever available and Google.com was even there. Okay. Yahoo.com wasn't even available at that time. It's all the way back then. So I literally climb up and then work for my first FAANG company. So it takes a long time to get there. In your storytelling, you just have to make sure that you dive really deep in how you deliver results. That is the key. And if you have more questions of that, reach out to me on LinkedIn and you may consider the Star Accelerator because that's what the Star does. It helps you drag out a lot of the stuff that you don't know that you have. All right. And that's what a lot of my members gain. None of them came from even a tech company to think about it. None of them did. In my Star cohort, they don't come from a known tech companies. When I say known, I mean a brand that that Amazon respect or the FANG companies know immediately, right? Not even mid tiers or even a hot startup. None of those. You just need to know yourself and your branding very well. By the way, when it comes to branding, hearing a lot of that in here. Thank you so much for the thumbs up and everything else. I'm not sure why my live chat had pretty much stopped. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I'm going to scroll down. I have to do this because I love me some star. Thank you for the star. John, thank you for upgrading your member to be a career tier. Anna, you know I'm a fan of yours. Punit, thank you so much for accepting a job offer and continue to come back here along with the rest of you guys. I really do appreciate that. How do you guys like my doer star emoji? If you guys like my emoji and you want me to create more emoji, it's a thriller for you guys. The coffee emoji is coming up. When I say give me a cup of coffee, I meant really give me a cup of coffee. Twana. Shape person. Yeah, the T shape and the I shape and all that, it may make sense, but you got to remember when you're in an interview setting, not everyone has that background, okay? Not everyone. Generally in the loop, there's tech and there's non-tech people. Even with tech people alone, no one has always worked with the agile principle and procedures. A lot of them don't. So we don't always want it to assume, okay, Twana? Woohoo says HRVP. When you're an HRBP, it's all about data and matrix because that's what my HRBP does. If I go to them and say, hey, by the way, can you pull up a report with the attrition rate? If I go to you and say, what is the attrition rate? How many people left in my org in 2020? You need to be able to do that. And if you don't have the data or information, how are you supposed to pull up the data? I'm going to give you a hint. What about your finance team? Right? They keep tab of budget and hiring, right? So this is what I mean by encouraging you guys to think really big and diving really, think big and diving really deep, okay? Sanjeev says, thank you for all the content and help here. I have my second round this Friday for an architect. Can I use the STAR method for telephone interview? You're supposed to move the STAR method for most of all of the question. Shrikant says, I don't have a lot of skill though. I don't know what I learned for Amazon. If you don't have a lot of skills, then you got to have some kind of skills that would be a fit for Amazon. Because I can tell you that I've had folks from Infosys and that are Amazonian right now. Okay? It's your ability to force you to really think big on your toe. And you got to ask yourself, and if you're not willing to do that, is Amazon the right place for? I'm not saying that you're not willing to do that, Shrikan, but those are the type of culture, hence the workplace assessment test that Amazon is having a lot of you guys take prior to your employment. Okay. Oh, no sound. Can't hear. When did I cut off my sound? Oh, because I pressed that button. See, that is so weird. I don't know why that button does that. I need to take a look at that closely and kill it. It's back now. Sound broke with broken link. Oh no. Okay, I gotta move on. I'm like, sound broken? Great, but I still have to move on. Okay, let me make sure. I want to make sure that I'm answering all of your questions that I'm not seeing over here. Give me 1 second, okay, guys? Quan Vu says you're awesome. Thank you. Well, you welcome. You welcome. Let me know if you have any other questions. Jose, it's been a long time. How are you, Jose? Etho 697. Thank you for the coffee. You see the smile on my face. Usually, I have more energy and fire starting with about now. I want to say starting about late afternoon or down to the evening. That's probably why I'm up so late every single day. Because in the morning, I'm really busy with like very early in the morning, handling my son to daycare, coming back, planning everything, and then making coffee by myself. If I'm lucky, I have time to grab a quick bite for breakfast. But 99% of the time, I don't have time to eat lunch. Because I have to live stream or schedule for my next days or my business meeting. I also run coaching cohort. I have my amazing, if you're VIP, say yes, VIP in here. I love my VIP member and my Star Accelerator because the community are people who are very, very respectful. They have an average of anywhere between 15 to 20 years of industry experience. I don't accept any junior level or college into any of my program because why should you? A lot of my material is free. Why are you paying for my time? It's here. It's free. Just come. I'll answer all of your questions. Okay. So let me know what part of your story you want me to review for the Friday sections. There's a lot of my YouTube pay member that's here right now. Also, guys, let me know if you want a follow-up feedback on your LinkedIn profile. I'm more than happy to look at that for you. Okay. As mentioned earlier, I'm very protective of the community. I love my pay member only that can comment because I don't want spammer to be in here. Okay. And Lou, I'm not sure if you are here or not. I really appreciate you and appreciate all the work that you're doing for the community. All right. So let's go ahead and answer a couple more questions to wrap this up. Min says, what would be a process to show working with SME, which is subject matter expert? I gave an example of working with SME, but they asked for more specific. I'm not sure what I missed. Well, when you give an example of working with SME, like why, first of all, I would want to know what is the SME does that you can't do? Why do you leverage the SME to do what? And what was the benefit of leveraging them? And in return, how do you partner and work with them, right? So you have to be extremely specific, so specific, people, okay? Storytelling is all about specific, okay? Nicole, I haven't seen you in a while. Nicole, how are you? Did mic off? Really? You guys can't hear me still? Can you guys still hear me? Because Nicole says I can't hear the microphone turn off, or is it just me? Okay, you scared me there, Nicole, because I said a lot of the things about coffee, and I don't want you guys to miss that. Nicole, do you have any questions for me? I know that you came in a little bit late today. Let me know, okay? I'm also looking at Ryan Forbes. I have my first Amazon phone interview tomorrow. Good luck to you, Mr. Ryan Forbes. Navran. Wow, Why is it not showing here? That is so weird. Hang on, guys. I'm very, very sorry. Navron says, been watching some of your great videos over the last 2 weeks. What? Just 2 weeks and not the entire year? I'm just kidding. Just got an offer today. Yay! This is the 4th offer that we have today. Just got an offer today. What are the chances of relocating to somewhere closer to home? Well, first of all, employers don't like it when you don't make that specific. I can't talk. Specific. I can't talk. I can't even pronounce a damn thing. You need to be honest, very upfront. If you're not, it's not a red flag, but they don't want surprises. Okay, you could simply just have that conversation with the hiring managers. Do not do that with the recruiter. Do with the hiring managers. Once you accept the job offer, if you talk to the recruiter's going to go to the hiring manager anyway. I would leverage your recruiter. Be very nice because they're your best friend. Repeat after me. Recruiters are our best friend, right? Simply just say, thank you so much for this offer. I'm so excited. Is there any way I can have a quick chat with my future hiring manager to talk about the scope of work and also the location? They're not going to say no. Okay. Lynn, perfect clear sound from Malaysia. Awesome. You probably hear the perfect clear sound is because of the microphone. It's not because of my tone. I love this mic to death, and I was very hesitant to invest in a good mic because I do live in downtown and it covers all the noise. Every single live stream, especially during this time, you'll hear honk, motorcycle, sirens, and God knows what I hear from the outside. This mic truly blocks everything behind me, which is why I love directional microphones. Okay. Ryan says, my interview is for a non-technical role with Amazon. It's for an event-based role. Oh, tell me more, Ryan. Would that change the way you go about the initial phone call? No, it wouldn't change anything because at the end of the day, the intent of your phone interview is to try to figure out if you have the fundamental for the role anyway. Okay. Lolly says, how should I consider a mid-senior position? What do you mean mid-senior position? Also important terms of salaries. You don't really consider leveling. And I talk so much about not focusing. No, it was from before I can. Oh, okay. Got it. Don't focus on leveling because Amazon is the one company that level people very well. And if you want more money and ability to negotiate more money, then you should really focus on your ability to storytell. Because if everyone gives you a thumbs up, or even if you have that one strong hire, you can negotiate much, much higher. Okay. And as mentioned, I have a whole playlist. It's called Salary Preparation. It's called Salary Negotiation. Even though it says Amazon Salary Negotiation, but it's really for any company. You guys know that, right? Where I walk you guys through the 3 of my top pick in how you figure out what your worth is. It's not how many years of experience you have, guys. It's how many years of experience. How long have you been doing the things that you've been doing? Okay. So with that in mind, Nicole, lovely seeing you. I will look forward into seeing a lot of you guys on my Friday morning session, which is right here at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you guys haven't already, I'm not sure why you haven't subscribed to my channel so that when I do come live like this, you will get a message from YouTube. I promise you, I'm not going to spam you at all when you do so. Make sure you are a member so you don't miss any of the future uploads and free webinar. Thank you so much for your time. And I will talk to you guys on Friday.